Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today not as a man who has all the answers, but as one who has had the privilege of experiencing the power of determination and the impact of innovation. In my life, I have learned that success is not given, it is earned. It is the result of hard work, persistence, and the relentless pursuit of something greater. Today, I want to share with you some of the principles that have guided my journey and the lessons I have learned along the way. When I first envisioned the automobile, I didn't see just a car. I saw a future where transportation would no longer be a luxury for the rich, but a tool that every person could use to improve their life. The automobile was not just a machine, it was the key to unlocking the potential of the everyday person. The idea of mass production, the assembly line, these were not just concepts, they were a vision of what the future could hold. Many people told me I was crazy. They said it couldn't be done. But I believed that if you have a clear vision, if you know where you're going, nothing can stop you. It took years of hard work, countless failures, and perseverance, but in the end, we built a car that every family could afford. That was my vision, to make the impossible possible. People often ask me, how did you overcome the many setbacks you faced? And my answer is simple. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. I have failed countless times. In fact, I have learned more from my failures than from my successes. Every failure teaches us something valuable, something we can use to improve. Do not be afraid of failure, for it is only by failing that we learn what doesn't work. When you fail, do not quit. Get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. The road to success is not straight. There will be obstacles, there will be hard times, but if you keep your eyes on the goal, you will find a way. There's a saying that goes, if you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. This is something I truly believe in. It's not just about having the right tools or the right knowledge, it's about having the will to get things done. Success doesn't come from dreaming, it comes from doing. Hard work is the foundation of everything I've achieved. When we first started the Ford Motor Company, we didn't have the resources that some of the bigger companies had, but we had something more important, the drive to work harder and smarter than anyone else. We didn't stop when things got tough. We kept moving forward. We were determined to make our vision a reality, no matter the cost. Success is never achieved alone. It is the result of a team effort, of people working together towards a common goal. I have always believed that a good leader is not someone who gives orders, but someone who inspires others to give their best. I have been fortunate enough to work with some of the brightest minds in the world, and together we build something truly extraordinary. I always said to my team, the man who works with me is just as important as the man who works for me. No matter how high you rise, you must never forget the value of each individual contribution. The work of one person can only go so far, but the work of a team is limitless. People often ask me what the secret to success is, and I tell them it's not just about making money. A business that only makes money is a poor business. Success comes from building something that has meaning, something that serves a purpose. I have always believed in creating products that improve the lives of people. Our cars were not just a way to make money, they were a way to make a difference. You see, integrity is at the core of everything we do. If you compromise your values in the pursuit of profit, you will never truly succeed. True success is measured by the impact you have on others, by the value you add to the world. I have always strived to build a company that not only provides for its workers and its customers, but also contributes to the betterment of society as a whole. None of this would have been possible without belief. The belief in myself, in my vision, and in the people around me. You must always believe in your ideas, even when others don't. It is that belief that will carry you through the toughest times. If you want to succeed, you must first believe that you can. It doesn't matter where you come from or what challenges you face. What matters is that you have a clear vision and the belief that you can turn that vision into reality. Don't let anyone tell you it's impossible. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. If you believe, you can. So I stand before you today, not as a man who has achieved greatness, but as a man who has pursued greatness with everything I have. And I tell you this, success is not reserved for the few. It is available to anyone who is willing to work for it, to anyone who is willing to believe in their vision and never give up. I encourage you, all of you, to never stop dreaming, to never stop working, and to never stop believing in the power of your ideas. The future is in your hands. Go out there and make it what you want it to be. As I stand here today, I often think back to the struggles we faced in the early days of Ford Motor Company. There were many obstacles in our path, many people who doubted us, and many moments when we thought we couldn't go any further. But each time we hit a wall, we found a way to climb over it, break through it, or go around it. The key is not to avoid obstacles. That's impossible. The key is to face them head on, with courage and with resolve. You see, every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. It's a chance to grow stronger, to learn, and to innovate. If I had given up after the first setback, or the second, or the third, I would never have seen the success that came from persevering. In every challenge, I found a lesson, and it was those lessons that allowed me to think beyond the constraints of my time and create something that had never been seen before. When you encounter difficulty, don't let it deter you. Use it as a stepping stone to your next achievement. One of the most important principles that guided me throughout my career was focus. Focus on your goal and nothing else. When I set out to build the Model T, I didn't concern myself with what others were doing or what they thought of my ideas. I had a singular focus, to create a car that would be affordable for every family. But focus alone is not enough. Consistency is just as crucial. Success doesn't come from making one great effort. It comes from the ability to do the same thing well, over and over, with dedication. At Ford, we didn't just build one good car, we built thousands of them, and we didn't stop there. We improved, refined, and innovated consistently. Consistency is the cornerstone of progress. Don't expect immediate success. Don't look for shortcuts. True greatness is achieved through the steady, tireless application of effort, day in and day out. You must work on your dreams consistently, no matter how hard it gets. Let me tell you something that many people overlook. Success is built on quality, not quantity. The Model T may have been affordable, but it was also built to last. It was a car that anyone could drive, but it was made with the same precision and care as any luxury vehicle. In business, it's easy to get caught up in making the most money or producing the most units. But let me tell you, the true measure of success is the quality of what you create. If your product or service doesn't add value, it doesn't matter how many you sell. It won't last. A business built on cheap shortcuts will crumble. But a business built on solid principles, quality, and care will stand the test of time. Always remember, you are not just creating for today. You are building something that should last for tomorrow. Strive for excellence in everything you do. In my time, the world was changing faster than anyone could have imagined. Technology was advancing rapidly, and with it, new possibilities were emerging. When I first started with the automobile, the world had never seen anything like it. But I realized early on that if you want to stay ahead, you must embrace change. Technology is not something to fear, it's something to harness. It is the tool that allows us to create better products, to reach new markets, and to improve the lives of people everywhere. At Ford, we didn't just build cars, we built an entire industry. And we didn't stop there. We looked to the future, to what was possible, and we adapted. The assembly line was just one example of how we used technology to increase efficiency and reduce cost, but there was always more to be done. Innovation is the bloodline of business. Without it, you will stagnate and eventually fade away. But don't just follow technology blindly. Understand it and use it to make a difference. Technology should always serve a purpose, and that purpose is to improve the human condition. Whether it's making life easier, more affordable, or more enjoyable, technology should always be in the service of humanity. Now, many people think that leadership is about giving orders or holding power over others. But leadership, in my view, is about something far more important: inspiring those around you. The best leaders are not those who tell others what to do, but those who show others the way. In my company, I always sought to create a work environment where people felt valued, where their ideas were heard, and where they understood that their contribution mattered. A company's success is built on the collective effort of everyone, from the factory worker to the engineer to the executive. A good leader empowers others to reach their full potential. They don't just direct, they inspire. In every business, leadership is critical. But true leadership is about creating a vision that others can believe in, and then working tirelessly with your team to make that vision a reality. It's about trust, respect, and fostering an environment where everyone feels they are part of something bigger than themselves. As I reflect on my life and the journey we've been on, I can't help but think about the future. I look at the world today and I see possibilities that I could never have imagined in my time. The world is changing faster than ever before, and with that change comes incredible opportunity. I always believed that the future is something we create, not something that happens to us. It is our responsibility to shape it. Each of you here today is a part of that future. The work you do, the ideas you have, and the actions you take today will define the world of tomorrow. So I urge you, do not wait for opportunity to knock. Go out and create your own opportunities. Challenge the status quo. Push the boundaries of what is possible. The future belongs to those who are brave enough to take it. Finally, I want to leave you with this. The key to success lies not in luck, not in chance, but in your ability to take action, to keep pushing forward, and to believe in yourself. I have had my share of failures, my share of setbacks, but I never lost sight of my vision. That vision drove me, even when things seemed impossible. And that is what I encourage you to do. Hold on to your vision, work tirelessly towards it, and believe that with determination and hard work, anything is possible. Remember, success is not a destination. It is a journey. It is a process of learning, growing, and improving every day. So take that first step, keep moving forward, and never stop believing in your ability to make a difference. You see, one of the greatest lessons I have learned in my journey is the importance of self-reliance. Far too many people rely on others to make their dreams come true. They look for shortcuts, for someone to give them the answers, for a path that's already paved. But I will tell you this: if you want to achieve greatness, you must learn to rely on yourself. You must trust your own abilities and take responsibility for your actions and decisions. When I started Ford Motor Company, I didn't have the support of a large corporation. I didn't have endless resources at my disposal. But I had one thing that was more important than all of that: the belief in my ability to make things happen. I knew that if I put my mind to it and worked relentlessly, I could turn my ideas into reality. And that is the power of self-reliance. There are no excuses. The only limitations you face are the ones you place on yourself. Do not wait for others to create the opportunities you seek. Go out and create them yourself. Take responsibility for your dreams and make them a reality. Many people think that success comes quickly, that it's the result of one lucky break or one brilliant idea. But the truth is, success is built on persistence, on the ability to keep going when others would quit. I didn't get to where I am because I was the smartest person in the room. I got here because I never gave up, because I stayed focused on my goals, even when it seemed like everything was against me. When we were building the Model T, the road was not easy. It wasn't smooth, and it wasn't quick. But we kept moving forward. We kept perfecting our designs, improving our processes, and doing whatever it took to make the car better and more affordable. We didn't focus on the obstacles. We focused on the end goal. And that's what I encourage you to do. Focus on the goal, not the hurdles in front of you. Success is not a matter of intelligence or talent. It is a matter of focus, persistence, and the willingness to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey. One of the things I learned early on was that in order to lead, you have to think ahead. You cannot be content with the status quo. You cannot look at things as they are today and say, this is enough. The world is always changing, and if you want to stay ahead of the competition, you must always be thinking about what comes next. At Ford, we didn't just build cars, we built a vision for the future. A future where everyone could own a car. A future where transportation wasn't a luxury, but an everyday necessity. We didn't just build for today, we built for tomorrow. And that is something that every business leader, every entrepreneur must always remember. You must think ahead. Don't just work for the present, work for the future. Ask yourself, what will the world need next? What can I create that will not just solve today's problems, but tomorrow's as well? Innovation is not about improving what's already been done. It's about creating something new, something better. It's about seeing the world not as it is, but as it could be. Now, I want to address something that many people get wrong: the role of money in success. Too many people chase money as if it is the ultimate goal. But let me tell you this: money is simply a tool. It is a means to an end, not the end itself. When I started Ford Motor Company, I wasn't focused on making money. I was focused on building something of value, something that would make a difference in the world. Money came as a byproduct of that. You see, if you focus too much on money, you lose sight of what really matters. Money should not be your goal. Your goal should be to build something meaningful, to create something that will stand the test of time. Money will follow when you focus on creating value. But if you chase money without purpose, you will find that it slips through your fingers, leaving you empty-handed. So I encourage you, focus not on the wealth, but on the work. Focus on creating something worthwhile. The money will come, but the impact you make will last far longer. Integrity is everything. Without it, you have nothing. I've built Ford Motor Company on a foundation of honesty and integrity, and I've seen how it has paid off. When you conduct business with integrity, when you do what's right even when no one's looking, you build trust. And trust is the cornerstone of any successful business. It's easy to cut corners, to take shortcuts, but let me tell you, those shortcuts will eventually catch up with you. A business built on dishonesty and deceit will not last. A business built on integrity, on doing what's right even when it's hard, will thrive. Never compromise your values, no matter the circumstances. Integrity is not negotiable. It's the foundation of your reputation, and your reputation is everything. There will be times when you face uncertainty, when the world around you seems to be falling apart. The true test of leadership comes in those moments. It is easy to lead when things are going well, but when faced with adversity, a true leader rises to the occasion. During the early days of Ford Motor Company, we faced numerous challenges. The world was changing, and there were many obstacles in our path, but we faced those challenges head-on, with courage and determination. We didn't hide from our problems, we confronted them, and through that, we grew stronger. In times of crisis, a leader must show confidence. A leader must remain calm under pressure, and most importantly, a leader must inspire others to stay the course. If you want to lead, you must be willing to make the hard decisions. You must be willing to take responsibility even when things go wrong. Leadership is not about taking credit for success. It's about taking responsibility for failure and leading your team through difficult times. As I look back on my life and my career, I think about the legacy I am leaving behind. It's not just about the cars we built or the company we created. It's about the lives we touched, the people we inspired, and the impact we made on the world. I always believed that if you do things right, if you build something of value, your legacy will take care of itself. It's not about seeking fame or recognition. It's about doing the work, staying true to your values, and knowing that you made a difference. Each of you here today has the opportunity to leave a lasting legacy. It's not about what you accumulate in life, but about what you contribute to the world. Will you leave behind something that will make the world a better place? Will you inspire others to dream big and work hard? That is the true measure of success. In closing, I want to remind you that success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of vision, hard work, persistence, and integrity. It is about building something that matters, something that will stand the test of time. You will face challenges. You will encounter failure. But I encourage you to keep moving forward. Focus on your goals, never lose sight of your vision, and most importantly, believe in yourself. The future is what you make of it. It is in your hands. So go out, take action, and create a future that will inspire others for generations to come. Thank you, and may you all achieve the success you deserve. One thing that has been essential to my journey and to the success of Ford Motor Company is the ability to learn, and more importantly, to adapt. In a world that is constantly changing, it is not enough to simply stick to the way things have always been done. Progress is built on the willingness to learn, to grow, and to change with the times. When I first started in the automobile industry, people had a set idea of what a car should be. But I didn't let that stop me. I asked myself, what if we could do it better? What if we could make it more affordable? What if we could make it more efficient? It was that mindset, a willingness to learn, to question the norm, and to adapt that allowed me to create something that had never been seen before. Never stop learning. Seek out knowledge, seek out wisdom, and never become so comfortable with success that you close your mind to new possibilities. If you stop learning, you stop growing, and if you stop growing, you will eventually be left behind. No matter where you are in life, no matter how successful you may seem, there is always more to learn. There is always room for improvement. Stay curious and always be willing to adapt to the ever-changing world around you. The greatest innovations are born not from repeating the past, but from learning from it and daring to create something new. Many people fear failure. They see it as something to avoid, something to be ashamed of. But let me tell you, failure is one of the most valuable teachers you will ever have. I've failed more times than I can count, and each time I failed, I learned something new. I learned what didn't work. I learned where I had gone wrong, and most importantly, I learned how to do it better the next time. When we were building the Ford Motor Company, there were countless obstacles, from technical challenges to financial difficulties. But every time we faced failure, we didn't let it stop us. We used it as a tool, as a way to learn and grow. If you approach failure the right way, it will teach you far more than success ever could. Success is not the absence of failure. It is the ability to overcome failure. It is the resilience to keep moving forward, even when the road seems long and hard. So don't fear failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it be the fuel that drives you to greater success. Another key principle in my work is the importance of planning and execution. Many people have great ideas. They have big dreams, big visions, but without a clear plan, without the ability to execute that plan, those ideas will remain nothing more than dreams. When we first set out to build the Model T, we didn't just start working without a plan. We had a clear vision, but we also had a blueprint for how we were going to get there. We knew that we needed to build a car that was affordable, reliable, and easy to manufacture. And we knew that we needed to do it better, faster, and more efficiently than anyone else. A dream is only as good as the plan behind it. You must set clear goals, break them down into actionable steps, and execute those steps with precision. A plan is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Without it, you are simply hoping for success, not working toward it. Execution is just as important as the idea itself. An idea without action is nothing but a thought. But when you combine a great idea with a well-executed plan, you create the potential for greatness. One of the most important lessons I've learned in building a successful company is the value of collaboration. No single person can achieve greatness alone. It is through collaboration, through bringing together people with diverse talents, perspectives, and ideas that we create something truly extraordinary. At Ford, we didn't just rely on a single person to solve problems. We brought together the best minds, from engineers to laborers, from designers to managers, and we worked together to achieve our goal. Everyone had a role to play. Everyone's contribution was valuable. Don't make the mistake of thinking that success comes from individual brilliance alone. It comes from teamwork. It comes from diverse perspectives. It comes from people working together toward a common goal. So, surround yourself with people who are better than you in certain areas and learn from them. When you put together a team of talented people who share your vision, there is no limit to what you can achieve. At the heart of everything I've accomplished, there has always been one unshakable belief: that the human spirit is capable of far more than we give it credit for. I believe in the power of people. I believe in their ability to overcome adversity, to innovate, and to achieve greatness. When I built Ford Motor Company, I didn't just build cars. I built a team of people who believed in something bigger than themselves. I saw potential in every person I met, and I encouraged them to see that potential in themselves. I've always believed that the most important asset any company has is its people. You too must believe in the power of the human spirit. Believe in your own potential and believe in the potential of those around you. When you do that, you create a culture of greatness where people are motivated not just by their own success, but by the success of the team and the greater good of the world. I have always said that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Passion is the fuel that drives success. It is what pushes you to keep going when times get tough. It is what makes the work feel meaningful, even when the hours are long and the challenges are great. If you are not passionate about what you do, you will find it hard to persist when things get difficult. But if you love your work, if you believe in your mission, then no obstacle will be insurmountable. Passion gives you the strength to keep going. It gives you the clarity to make the right decisions, even when there is uncertainty. Find what you are passionate about and pursue it with everything you have. When you work with passion, you will not only find success, but you will also find fulfillment. And that is what makes the journey worth it. People often think that a single person can't make a difference. But let me tell you, one person can change the world. I am proof of that. It was my vision, my persistence, and my willingness to challenge the status quo that led to the creation of the Ford Motor Company. Your actions, no matter how small they may seem, can have a ripple effect that changes the course of history. One idea, one decision, one action can set off a chain reaction that transforms lives. Never underestimate the impact you can have. The world is full of opportunities for those who are willing to act. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone else to make the change. Be the change. Take that first step, and you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Success is not an accident. It is the result of hard work, persistence, learning from failure, and above all, believing in yourself and your vision. It's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. The future is shaped by those who dare to dream, who dare to take action, and who never give up. The world is full of possibilities, but only for those who are brave enough to seize them. So go forward, embrace the challenges, keep pushing forward no matter how difficult it seems. The only limit to your success is the limit you place on yourself. Dream big, work hard, stay focused, and above all, never stop believing in the power of your ideas. Thank you, and may your journey to success be as bold and unstoppable as your vision. As I stand here, looking back on my life, I reflect on how difficult it was to bring something as revolutionary as the automobile to the masses. People said it couldn't be done, that it was too costly, too complicated, too unrealistic. They laughed, they doubted, and they criticized. But you know what? I didn't listen to them. I didn't let the noise of naysayers distract me from my mission. If you truly believe in something, if you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, no amount of criticism or failure can deter you. Persistence is everything. The road to success is never easy, especially when you're trying to change an entire industry. When I first envisioned the assembly line and mass production, many said it couldn't be done. They said it was impractical, too complex, and would never work. But what I saw was something greater. I saw a future where everyone, not just the wealthy few, could afford a car. I saw a way to take what was once considered a luxury and make it affordable for the average person. It didn't matter how many times I was told it was impossible. I simply refused to accept that reality. I kept moving forward, through the obstacles, through the doubt, through the failure. And in the end, it was that persistence that transformed the world. The automobile industry and industries all over the world were forever changed by the willingness to keep going, even when the future seemed uncertain. Now, as we discuss innovation, it's important to remember that technology, at its core, is a tool. It is not the end goal. The car, the assembly line, the machines, these are all tools that allow us to achieve something greater. They are the means, not the end. You see, too many people think that technology is the solution to all problems. They think that simply adopting the latest gadget, the latest machine, will make everything easier. But technology is only as powerful as the people who use it. Without the right people behind it, people who understand its purpose, its limitations, and its potential, technology is just a collection of parts. At Ford, we didn't just build a car, we built an entire system. We didn't just develop the assembly line, we developed a culture, a way of thinking, a way of working. We made sure that our people were trained to use the technology, to understand it, and to improve upon it. That's why we were able to produce vehicles at such a scale and at such a low cost. Technology is a tool to enhance human capability. It doesn't replace people, it empowers them. Don't rely on technology to do all the work. Use it to support the human effort, to amplify the work of your hands and minds. Remember, technology is most effective when it is used to serve a purpose, and that purpose is always improving the lives of people. One thing I've learned is that skepticism and doubt are constant companions to any great idea. When we started, there were many who questioned whether the automobile would ever be successful. They said the horse and carriage would always be better, more reliable. They said the car was just a passing fad. But I believed in the power of change. I believed that the car was the future, and I was determined to prove everyone wrong. In fact, I made it a point to prove the doubters wrong. And you know what? I did. When you have a vision, there will always be people who doubt you. There will always be those who say it can't be done. But let me tell you this, doubt is not the enemy of success. It is the challenge that makes success so sweet. The moment you stop doubting yourself is the moment you stop growing. Use that doubt as fuel to keep pushing forward. Turn it into determination. Turn it into your drive to succeed. If you let the doubters get to you, you will never achieve anything of value. But if you use their doubt to fuel your determination, you will accomplish great things. So the next time someone tells you it's impossible, smile, because you know that with persistence and the right mindset, nothing is impossible. At Ford, we never just sought to meet the demand, we sought to create it. We didn't build cars because people asked for them. We built cars because we saw what they could do for people. We saw how they could change lives, how they could open up new possibilities for people who had never imagined that kind of freedom before. Innovation is about more than just meeting existing needs. It's about creating new possibilities, new opportunities. When you innovate, you open doors that no one else has seen. You create new markets, new ways of living, new ways of working. When I first created the assembly line, it wasn't just to produce cars more efficiently. It was to change the way people lived and worked. It was to make life more affordable, more convenient, and more accessible. It was about creating something that had never existed before, and in doing so, making life better for millions of people. Innovation is not just about improving what's already there. It's about seeing what isn't there and creating it. It's about recognizing the potential in the world and bringing that potential to life. In business, in life, in everything, there comes a time when you must take a risk. It's easy to stay within your comfort zone, to stick with what you know, to play it safe. But true success is never achieved in the comfort zone. It's achieved by stepping outside, by taking the risks that others are afraid to take. When I built Ford Motor Company, I took a risk. When I decided to mass produce cars, I took a risk. When I introduced the assembly line, I took a risk. But every time I took a risk, it paid off. Not immediately, not without struggle, but in the end, it paid off. If you don't take risks, you will never know what you're capable of. You will never know how far you can go. Taking risks is about pushing yourself beyond what you think is possible, about testing the limits of what you can achieve. It's about embracing the unknown and turning it into opportunity. So take the risks. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of the unknown, because that is where the true opportunities lie. Success, my friends, does not come from the work of one individual alone, and it is not solely about the accumulation of wealth or power. It is at its core about understanding people. In the end, business is not about machines or products. It is about the people who use those products, the people who create them, and the people who benefit from them. If you want to succeed in business, you must have empathy. You must understand what drives the people around you, from your workers to your customers to your competitors. Understanding the needs, the dreams, and the aspirations of others will guide you towards creating a business that serves a greater purpose. I have always believed that the success of Ford Motor Company was built not just on the product we created, but on the relationship we built with our workers and customers. We didn't just see them as means to an end, as tools to get the job done. We saw them as partners in a shared vision, a vision that we could not accomplish alone. We saw value in their contribution, and that, my friends, is what allowed us to grow and thrive. Empathy is the foundation of good leadership. A leader who understands the challenges of those they lead, who listens to the concerns of those they serve, will inspire loyalty and commitment that will fuel success. Remember this, people don't work for you because they have to. They work for you because they want to. Treat them with respect, understand their needs, and show them they matter. That is the key to building a strong, successful organization. When I began, I didn't see Ford Motor Company as just a business to make money. I saw it as a force that could transform communities.
We didn't want to just create jobs. We wanted to create opportunities for people to build better lives for themselves and their families. When you think of success, think of the people whose lives you impact, not just the bottom line. Think of the communities you are helping to build. Think of the future you are shaping not just for yourself, but for the generations that will come after you.